everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with the final episode of Her Story. So I played this game a lot after the last episode, and I got most of the videos. But yeah, at the end of episode 4, I said that I thought that Eve was the one who murdered Simon. But after playing a whole bunch and getting all those other videos, and I'm still going, by the way, I changed my mind, and I now think it's Hannah, and I'm going to show you a bunch of videos leading up to why I think it was Hannah, and then I'll explain everything at the end. Some of these videos you'll have seen before, but it's necessary to see them again to get where I'm going with this and to see the actual story. So I'm just going to go ahead and start.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street. Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had the one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time. I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I'd slept through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way he would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic. He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream. I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was. When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that. This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left. It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off. It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes, they're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us so we could then disprove it rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch to make sure the alibi stuck. My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
So that's it. So if I go back and I explain them, this is what I figured out. This is my theory on it. I mean, nothing obviously is set in stone because this game is all over the place, but anyways, so there were a few different days where they were doing interviews, and Eve and Hannah went back and forth. So Eve likes coffee and Hannah likes tea. That's one way to get them. I thought it was the hair down, hair up thing, but they do switch every now and again. I think the first interview was Eve, then it was Hannah because she had the bruise, and then it was Eve again because she didn't have the bruise anymore. And then I lost track, and the last one, the one that all of these clips are from, is from Eve. So if you go through the videos that I just showed you, the first one is talking about when she's 8 years old and her adoptive mother, Florence, accidentally falls down the stairs and she runs off to live with her sister, reflection, Hannah, in the attic. Now, after being kept inside for 8 years of your life, never allowed to go anywhere, seeing your reflection doing her thing, and then, you know, reading all these fairy tales and thinking you're some magical princess in this, it's all enough to make you go a little stir crazy, a little nutty. And honestly, I think Florence falling down the stairs wasn't an accident. I'm 90% sure Eve pushed her down the stairs, erased herself from Florence's anything by getting rid of the diaries and having no proof that she was ever there, because nobody knew that she even existed. So no one's gonna know that Eve ever lived with Florence. Florence, as far as society knows, never had children. So right there, she was smart enough, clever enough to get herself out and then run for cover somewhere else. The second video is about how she's used to her and Hannah sharing everything, because obviously she lived in the attic for a long time, and she basically lived vicariously through Hannah. So they shared everything, and with Simon it was different. Hannah was actually in love with Simon. She wanted him. He was the prince from her fairy tales. And that didn't work too well for Eve, because she was used to sharing, and of course, because Simon was the one thing she couldn't have. And as far as guys go, you know, she wanted him because she couldn't have him. It was the same thing with wanting Hannah's life. She wanted Hannah's life so bad that I think she killed her adoptive mother for it, you know? She wants what she can't have because she feels that she deserves it or something. I mean, after the kind of life that she had growing up, like between 0 to 8, I kind of don't blame her for wanting things, you know, being denied so much. But anyways, the third video was about how after Hannah and Simon got pregnant and moved away and got married and all that with the shotgun wedding and all that stuff, obviously Eve couldn't follow and she was stuck up in the attic. But she wanted that freedom. She wanted to be able to do those things, the freedom to go out and do, you know, what Hannah's doing and all of that. And she wanted to follow her, but she couldn't exactly do anything because she was stuck in an attic with nowhere else to go. So, and again, I think she killed her parents. Obviously, she knew which mushrooms were poisonous, and if her father was an expert, there's no way he would have made a mistake like that. No way he would have made a mistake like that. So I'm pretty sure Eve had something to do with it and somehow got them poisoned. Whether she tricked him into picking these or did it herself and force-fed them, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she was behind their poisonings, their death. The next one was after she got out, and it took me a long time to realize this, but and I feel kind of dumb about it, but her tattoo, I get it now. The snake in the apple, obviously that's Adam and Eve. That's how he guessed her name. Her name's not actually in her tattoo. I don't know why it took me so long to get that, but it did. Anyways, so of course, if Hannah and Eve always had a diary so they would always know what was going on with the other one, Eve probably knew that Simon liked blondes, hence the blonde wig, and went to the pub. Probably a pub that she knew Simon went to. She would know these things beforehand, of course. So it wasn't exactly a coincidence that they met. So, and of course he's attracted to her because it's a blonde version of his wife. So that's, how they met. They started talking and everything like that. And the next one is about how her and Simon went back to Simon's house and had sex, and she got pregnant the first time, just like Hannah did, because of course everything has to go the same way, and it just magically ended up happening like that. And then of course, in the next coming videos, Eve tells Hannah that she's pregnant but not with Simon's child, doesn't want to say anything to Simon for obvious reasons, and then of course Hannah goes and tells Simon everything and finds out that they had slept together and that it's most likely Simon's baby. And she gets mad, she kicks Simon out of the house, gets into a fight with Eve. Eve punches her in the face, and that's how she ends up with the bruise. And then Eve leaves to go to Glasgow and gets into that car accident and finds out the baby's fine, whatever. And while she's gone, Hannah now has the wig. She's got her access to her sister's place. She's got her clothes. She waits for Simon. And it's just like Eve had said, she smashed the mirror out of complete anger and killed him. It was an accident, but she killed him. And then, of course, Eve comes home and helps her sister, discard the body into the cellar where they would find it, and the watch and all of that stuff. So, in the end, Eve's not the one who killed Simon. She killed Florence. I'm 90% sure of that, and I'm about 70% sure she killed her own parents. But in the end, it was Hannah who killed Simon. And I'm like 99% sure of that. I don't think she's lying. And the character we're playing, the one who's looking at all of these videos and everything, is the daughter of Eve and Simon, Sarah. Eve named her Sarah after the unborn baby that Hannah couldn't have and lost. So that's kind of sweet. But I don't get the last video as much, My Sister's Gone. If you look back through some of the other videos, she does the tapping code thing where she knocks on the table, and other people have figured it out, because I looked it up. I looked up that part because I wasn't 100% sure, and apparently in the first one, Eve taps out, love you, and then she taps out later on again, goodbye Hannah. Misspelt, but that's what it is, because it's Morse code, right? And then that last video that I showed you was her saying that her sister's gone. So I'm not 100% sure if she's like killed her sister or something after all of that. Maybe she did. Who knows? That's just another mystery that's there. So in the end, the way I see it is they are twins. They're not just one person. Eve killed Florence and her parents, was in love with Simon, got pregnant with his child, and out of anger, Hannah accidentally killed Simon. Anyways, that's what I got from it, and I think this is Eve's story. It's not Hannah's story. It's obviously not Simon's story or anything like that. It's Eve's story. It's Eve's life. How she grew up, how everything happened to her. Her and her sister. This is Eve's story. That's what I got from this anyways. If you guys came to maybe different conclusions about the story, I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear your theories behind what's really going on, maybe what happened to Hannah in the end for Eve to say that, you know, her sister's gone. I would just love to hear the theories. I want to know what's going on through your minds if you've played the game, or after watching, you know, me play it and all of the videos and other people playing it, you know, like what conclusion did you come to? What is your answer? What is your take on this? I'd love to hear it. But yeah, so this is the final episode, and I really want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing it, and I'm gonna keep trying to get the rest of those stupid videos. But yeah, so if you want to see more videos like this, then just click the I at the top, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching.